Welcome to More Than No podcast. I am your host, Josh Morin. I am joined with special guest, my sister Jessie Thompson, for today's More in the Know episode. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, so I'm super stoked to get finally to have a little chat here on this podcast, and looking forward to all that is be had for today's content. Before we dive into today's content, just want to remind everybody to get the most primal, highest quality of meats and organs delivered straight to your door from the farm, right to your table at farmsushi.com. You can see I'm wearing a Farm Sushi hat, so if you are interested in that, you can head to farmsushi.com and look at our ranching partners for the highest quality meats and organs. Also sponsored of our show is my company, Field Supplements. Head to fieldsupplements.com if you're looking for the highest quality products delivered straight to your door as well. The convenience is the number one factor in today's world. So if you want the best delivered to you, go to fieldsupplements.com. So farmsushi.com, fieldsupplements.com. And that leads us into today's podcast. So Jess, welcome. Welcome in. This is your first podcast that you've ever been on.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to put this down so people
there we
can
go.
see your beautiful smile and your beautiful face there. But it's been a long journey. It's been a long journey to have you come here. And obviously, we're going to be talking a lot about life and love and all the things that you have going on right now. But it's been a beautiful journey to see what's happened over the last few years.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so grateful for where we're at. I mean, it has been a beautiful journey, a wild journey, an adventure, and just riding the waves.
Yeah, riding the waves it has been, and a wave that you and your husband, my brother-in-law Bryce, have rode is you've been traveling all over the place. You know, Bryce shared a little bit about Caprenzo and living in Bozeman, and then transition over to Portland, and then from Portland, now you then have found yourself in the desert. So you've been here since December. What's it been like living in the desert of Arizona since December?
It's been awesome. There's definitely been ups and downs with it, and I think career-wise and lifestyle-wise, it's been one of the best decisions that we could have made to be able to move here and really get some roots planted. But I mean, I do have to say I really miss Oregon and the flowers and the waterfalls and the greenery. So it's a weird like juxtaposition between the two, and just really being able to accept one thing and be happy, but still be able to, we can still have those feelings and miss something else at the same time.
Absolutely. Well, that's cool. It's been cool to see the transition, and obviously I've been part of that as I've lived with you and Bryce, and we're only a few weeks away from you going off on your own, and me going on my own way and my own journey, but ultimately still living here, which is a beautiful thing. So you came down here in December, and at the time you were just doing some freelance with graphic design, and Bryce was doing real estate. And now you just opened up your shop. The initial opening was in June?
Yeah, July 1st.
July 1st, and then you just had the grand opening. Mm-hmm. So Sunshine Sparkle Face in Cave Creek, Arizona. That's been a really awesome thing to see, the cultivation and the creation of inspirational ideas and new just like, it's obviously something that is very attributed to you, and something that is definitely divinely something that you would do. I mean, Sunshine Sparkle Faced in and of itself is a name that you would only come up with. So talk about coming up with that name, and then talk about the transition of going from freelance graphic design and then now into a brick and mortar art gift shop, gift gallery, galleria type situation up in Cave Creek.
Yeah, all the fun stuff. So the name actually I came up with right after our wedding. So I used to work at a school with just special needs kids, and so they said some of like the funniest things, and I had this little guy that I worked with, and I don't honestly remember what he was even saying, but it was something with My Little Ponies, and he used to like say Sunshine, like I think it was a name of a pony. And then I was just like, that is so cute. And then one day, like while it was right before the wedding, we were picking wildflowers, and I was like, Sunshine Sparkle Face, like that's pretty cool. And I kept it to myself for a little bit, and then after the wedding, Bryce and I were on our couch in Bozeman. I'm like, what do you think of like me switching my Instagram handle to Sunshine Sparkle Face? And he's like, I couldn't love you anymore. And so that just started as something super casual. And then moving forward with my career in graphic design and art and freelancing at the time, I meshed that into switching over to that being my art platform. And then that developed into mom and grandma joining forces together, and so we turned that into Sunshine Sparkle Faced with an ed at the end. I just thought it was more like inclusive for everyone, like we're all sparkle face, and so that's how that started. And I was doing graphic design and selling art out of our home for a few years, and I was really just dabbling in it. I hadn't really committed to it fully, even though it might have looked like that on the outside. I was really just, it looked good on the outside is really what it was. And so, and I had known that for a while. And so when I started coaching with, Jeff and Carla the past couple of years, I've started to really understand why I do what I do and being able to let myself just be me. And I think that has been the biggest thing, is just being able to let myself shine. And so, and not caring what other people think. And so when we got here, let me go back to Oregon actually. So I was having a really hard time in Oregon finding a place for Sunshine Sparkle Face to fit in. There was a lot of different factors, and while I loved Oregon as a whole, like the nature aspect, and there were some really cool parts of it, there was other parts of it where I was afraid, or I was hesitant to really dive Sunshine Sparkle Face into that area. And so with that coming here, the first few months, I had my top freelance months for January, February, and March. And so I really got some momentum under my belt, and I was feeling good and just being able to start producing. And that was my biggest thing. One, not procrastinating on things, just doing what I needed to do, make lists, get them done, and be able to produce. And that has been my biggest thing, my biggest shift, and being able to commit to something. And so then April hit, and there was just lots of unknowns, and I felt like I was just ready to finally take on something. I was like, I'm better than this. Like, this isn't working out for me. I needed more connection with like my community and in my environment. I don't do well working from home because I need that aspect of getting out of the house and being able to see people. And I recognize that within, the last year. And I think that's a huge step for us all, to be able to see where we fit in and where we can produce at our best. And so with that, it was on a whim, honestly, that the store happened, or it was just everything coming to a point in full alignment. And so with that, I was starting to really weigh out the factors of doing just markets or being able to open a storefront and what each looked like. And we had already done the markets and the fairs and the festivals with Caprenzo, and there were some really good things that I loved about it, but it was also a lot of work. And it was just a lot of extra work that I was, I love parts of it, but I was like, okay, let's try something else and let's just get a foundation down. So with that, a building up in Cave Creek presented itself to us, and just one day I was like, Bryce, we have to go look at this. Had nothing else figured out, had no financing figured out, was just like, I feel this in my gut. My intuition's telling me to move forward with this. And so with that said, here we are.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a lot of moving parts that have happened over the last 12 to 24 months, and more or less just taking it all with grace and letting the cards play how the cards will play. And ultimately, that's what you've done, and you found yourself in a position now where you're owning and operating a brick and mortar store. So brick and mortar, obviously in the last 10 years, especially in demographics like big cities, you've started to see the downfall and the popularity of these types of places decrease due to the increase of the influence of straight to your door when you click to order online, especially Amazon. I really do feel like Amazon, I don't want to say wrecked brick and mortar, but it definitely played a major role. And then all of a sudden COVID happened, and that really started to push buying habits to online. So as somebody who now owns a brick and mortar store, seeing the buying habits of people, how do you feel you best have overcome the challenges of generating traffic into the store, and what challenges have you faced, and do you think you will continually face as being a business owner?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a huge thing. And especially, I think, in the art realm, also having like Etsy platforms and being able to sell on like the Instagram live drops. I think that's huge, but we just really weren't fitting into that with the size. I mean, we have 50-pound bird bass, we have 4-foot elk antlers with floral pieces. Just shipping wasn't all the way around, wasn't a good fit. So I feel that with having this brick and mortar, I felt that Cave Creek was a really good location because it was a smaller community that was also had some tourist traffic coming in, and it was just really that tight knit. Also believed, I mean, there's a ton of art in the area, so obviously it sustains itself with that, and people believe like the handmade aspect of it is still quality over quantity, especially with I mean, prices being able to reflect like the work put into these things. Like they have to be higher. And so you're not going to get a piece of art at our shop for the same thing on Amazon. It's just not how it is. So for me, there's still challenges to this day. I mean, it's slow, and so you have to be in solution and find ways to get creative. It's like, okay, this isn't working, so how can we drive this in? Or how can we start umbrellaing, is that a word? New things under sunshine to bring in that traffic. So, okay, we have this brick and mortar. What else can we do? So we have some custom orders. I'm still doing freelance. Like, how can we bring people into the store? What's working for signage outside? What's not? What's working for displays inside? What's not? And so being able to continually reevaluate yourself is one of the biggest things I feel that sometimes people don't do, because it's like, sometimes I feel a lot of people put something out and they're like, oh, it's done, it's out. And they don't want to edit it or, revise it. And that's just, life is a revision. You're continually going over things and setting yourself up to be better. And so I feel that I have a good grasp on it, and there's still going to be challenges, like I said, but it's still just like, okay, how can we get through this?
Ultimately diversifying multiple streams of income through the same brand. I mean, that's so key now if you're a business owner or an entrepreneur, and that's something that I have definitely done over the last few years, is begin to sub-brand, co-brand, umbrella. You have your main brand, and then underneath that you essentially co-brand that space, and either cultivating communities or new ideas or different events or experiences, and or providing a different service that's under the same umbrella that you initially started with, but it's not a complete different entity. And so ultimately that curates the entire brand within itself, and that's so important in today's world, because you cannot, I mean, to be being a one-trick pony in today's landscape of the free market in terms of entrepreneurship and just in business in general, you can't be a one-trick pony anymore. And so, because everybody's fighting for attention, and and when everybody's fighting for attention, you have this much time to catch attention and or show somebody that you're providing a value and or service. And then the moment that they come into your network, it's so key for them to feel the community aspect. And that's something that I've really started to develop over the last 12 months in my own brands. And that's something now, taking Sunshine Sparkle Face to the next level, will ultimately it'll be imperative for your success, as a business owner, to really, really begin to develop that community. So speaking of community, I know that you guys have been doing some cool things within your community and within your brand. So talk a little bit about the cultivation. So Sunshine Sparkle Face didn't really get broken down. So if you were to just give me a short 60 seconds on what is exactly Sunshine Sparkle Face, what would you say?
So Sunshine Sparkle Face is an art gallery and gift shop, and we have my art, mom's art, and grandma's art in there, as well as 30 other vendors. So we've curated a space to bring other artists together and to be able to connect with the community through art, events, service, experience, and all those things that are just magical, colorful, and beautiful. And we believe that there is a war on art. And so to be able to live in your magic and show who you are to the world is such a cool thing. And to be able to stand firm in your beliefs and to, it's Sunshine Sparkle Face isn't for everyone. Some people they come in, they freeze they don't make it past our rug, and that's okay. But to be able to see something new, to get out of your comfort zone is such a powerful thing in this world.
That's great. And I really love, and that's what it really takes, like you said, is you're incorporating many artists within the community, keeping it local. And that's really what it takes, is to band yourself with the alliance of artists. And within that alliance of artists, you all have each other's back, which has to be the case, especially in a dying, I don't want to call it a dying, but the prevalence of art, like you said, because art now is at your fingertips. It's so mass produced. It's the Amazons of the world. It's going buying things at Ross. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're getting a $15 piece of art because it's literally just mass produced by the tens of thousands, if not millions. And so creating that wholesome experience is very key. So you've offered some different workshops and are continually doing that within your brand. So speak about what you've done and then what you have in the plans currently and what your vision is moving forward with types of events and experiences that you offer for those that are going to want to take part in Sunshine Sparkle Face.
Yeah, so we've done a lot of cool things already, even just in we opened July 1st and today is September something 20th. So we've
or 19th, sorry.
Yeah, so the last week we hosted a flower arrangement class.
That's cool.
Which was really awesome. Had people come in, got to learn flower arrangement skills from another local business. So they came in and taught, and it was beautiful. And then we had our grand opening, which we offered food, live music, shopping, just a really cool experience for the community to come together. And that was like an eye-opener, and to get I got really inspired because I could feel like that energy, like this is what I want to do. How can we keep expanding on this, and also riding this momentum? And so we also have on October 8th, we're having a reading with Tender Little Hearts. And that's a lady who, she brings in her mini horses, and they wear tutus and like little unicorn things and diapers and shoes, and they'll do readings with kids. And so that's really cool. We have a line of conscious stories that just really reflects Sunshine Sparkle Face as a whole. And then we're also going to be teaming up with you and hosting a breathwork and cold plunge up there. So just really diversifying events within the community that isn't just like one thing. Like, it's not just art. It's not just something for kids. I mean, it's not just within the fitness community or in like the holistic community. Like, we really want to broaden our scope for everyone, because that's what it is for everyone. And also moving forward in the future, this has just been in the last week, really talking to Bryce, how can we develop our vision? And so with that right now, in my mind, I want to take it into a triangle, like a trifecta. So right now we offer a product, and that's the store itself. That's coming into Sunshine Sparkle Face, having that product and being able to give back. And then I want to elaborate on that and then do a service. So how can we give back to the community? Because that's what fills my cup. And giving back to the community within, do we do art therapy classes? Do we do something under Sunshine Sparkle Face that, we host our own things and teach people how to work through their emotions with art? I mean, that's such a powerful thing that, when people create, it's they feel inspired and are able to let go of their own things in different ways. And so how can we really develop that out? And then the third one is an experience. So I really have loved having Caprenzo and just having our house in Oregon and being able to build that backyard and host people there and have parties, and people come in and we have this experience. That's what makes me so stoked. And so having those three things together, I feel can really be a powerhouse in not only fulfilling and filling up my cup, but being able to provide to the community, because that's what it comes down to, is being of service to others. And that's how what's also going to keep us afloat. Like we couldn't do this without other people.
No, that's exactly. I mean, that's exactly it. Once again, being a one-trick pony, it's funny because you have ponies showing up, and ultimately, like, you'd be the only person that I know that would find a way to get ponies into your store.
Yeah, it just happened.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. When you're in alignment of it, I'm sure it just gets attracted to you.
Yeah.
I can't say that I've ever attracted into my reality tender little hearts ponies, but I looked at their page, and it was awesome. Actually, it was pretty cool to see the. They're utilizing ponies as essentially they're service animals, therapy animals, and how really truly important it is to have therapy animals. I mean, not for just children who require special needs, but all of us. I mean, we all have special needs in a way, and don't take that out of context, but in reality, the power of healing with animals is truly awesome, and just being around animals in and of itself has such a powerful healing effect.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, I talk about that a lot, even just with the dogs.
Yeah, well, David Hawkins, who I mention a lot, I mean, they say that having dogs can add another 10 years of lifespan to your life, because it truly shows what unconditional love is. And so, speaking of unconditional love, moving into this next direction, obviously, you have made so many different changes over the last 12 to 24 months in your life, have really committed to being your best self. And something that has happened is now you are pregnant.
Yep, it's here. I don't know if you can see it.
Look at that little, oh my gosh, I have a little baby Larkin, which is my little nephew that is on the way. So I'm super excited for that. How many weeks pregnant are you? 20 weeks pregnant. So yeah, you're definitely pregnant.
Halfway there.
Halfway there, which is incredibly crazy. So, speak about that and your transition of you now in the workspace that you're in as an entrepreneur, but also now taking the responsibility of stepping into motherhood.
Yeah, it all happened at once. So at first it was a lot, to be honest, because I know Bryce really touched on this story, but for so many years we didn't want kids. And it wasn't that we didn't want them, but we weren't our best selves. So we felt like we didn't want to bring that into the world to continue cycles that, we had gone through previously. And so for us, I feel like, the universe, God, whatever anyone believes in, really provided this creation when we needed it. And so we found out that, I was pregnant right when we were starting up Sunshine Sparkle Face. And so at first it was a lot. I was like, I'm doing this. Like, I can't, like, this isn't happening. I was in denial. And so it took a few days to really accept it. And also touching back with that, I've had a lot of health issues the last few years. So I felt that I wasn't ready. Like I hadn't, gotten certain scans that I needed to get done. I hadn't done certain things. So there was just a lot of different feels. And then being able to step into my power as a businesswoman. And so, but now, like, time has passed. Like, we found out in June, and now it's September, and I'm like, let's go. I'm ready. And I feel like with time, you're able to really accept things that you see, and you're able to work through your feelings and your emotions. And I'm so grateful for this blessing that we're able to get. And we're reading this book called Spirit Babies, and it talks about the children that you're meant to have or not have, and how like things attach to you at the right times in your life. And so like it was at the right moment at the right time. I mean, we were in the middle of opening the shop, living with you, and like living in the desert. Like it chose this moment in time instead of, when everything was perfect or looked perfect in Oregon, when we had our own home, when we had things set up. It's different. So I feel like just being able to accept it and move forward was like a big thing.
And ultimately, too, having the confidence of you being in the position that you are as a future mother, just because you've committed yourself to doing the work and the shadow work that's required to step into that position. I know for me, a big reason, just like you and Bryce, a big reason that I didn't want children for such a long time is because I was nowhere near where I knew that I could lead new life and consciousness in this realm of reality. And so that has always prevented me subconsciously, and maybe on a level of conscious, like maybe just on a conscious level as well of reality, just me being able to accept that. And over the last few years, that's definitely changed in my sobriety, as well as me really committing to being my best. And I've seen that commitment with you and Bryce, and bringing new life into this world is not, it's, I feel like it's become something that is has been normalized, but then blindly, then it's just like a blind situation where men and women bring children into the world to recreate the same things that have happened to them in their life, and ultimately they're not conscious of these different cycles and patterns of behavior and actions and addictions and emotions, and these toxic trauma bonds that have been passed down generationally. They're not aware of this, and many dads, and Bryce and I really broke this down, many dads are either not in the picture at all, or they are checked out. You know, a checked out father, a checked out and or fatherless society, to me, is the demise of the world. Obviously, motherhood is so very important, as I'm learning this in my own path with my fiance Jordan, and how beautiful this opportunity is for her and I to grow and cultivate our relationship together as we bring in new life, almost, you know, at the same exact time as you. So it's that's a beautiful thing, and we could talk a little bit more. Maybe we'll have like a Jordan and you and me podcast, and maybe Bryce, Jordan, you and me can all get on once the babies are born or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's just been beautiful to see your transition that you've been able to make over the last few years, and to see the changes that have had to happen for you to be in the position that you're in. And ultimately, that's the power of life, and that's the journey of life. Is, if for me it's just growth in any aspect of life that you can, and ultimately it comes down to your level of commitment. So it's been an awesome chat with you, to sit down and talk about life. And I know we got cut short here a little bit about talking about motherhood, but if you were to send a message to any woman out there, wanting to, like, if they're on the fringe about motherhood or having children, what would your message be to them?
Ooh. My message would be to step into their power, because motherhood is power, and step into creation, and we all, whether we've had traumatic things in our lives, that we all deserve to create a beautiful blessing.
To me, you know, for all my searching and all of the different ways and avenues that I've gone to find the answers and the meaning of life, one thing that has grounded me the most is creating children, bringing new life into this world, and being married, and being in a committed relationship. And those two things have been completely destroyed by the societal norms that we're seeing day to day. And coming back to our roots of it, whether it's right or whether it's wrong, there's definitely power in it.
Yep.
There's definitely power in committing to being a mother and committed to being a father. Not just being there or giving birth, but divinely knowing that this child chose you, and now it is your divine right, divine responsibility, as well as your divine pleasure, to be able to cultivate this new life for this child, to bring them to lead. I mean, our children are going to be light years ahead of us in terms of consciousness.
Yeah.
and moving forward. So, Jessie, I'm super excited to have this journey of having little Larkin, and we don't know if ours is going to be a boy or a girl yet, but regardless, it'll be a cousin and a best friend for life for your little child, and I'm excited to be an uncle. And so moving forward, though, where can everybody find you on your Instagram and or TikTok pages? And if you have a website, go ahead, as well as share. I'll share all this down below. So if you're watching this will all be shared down below. But go ahead and let everyone know where they can find you.
Yep, you can find us on Instagram at sunshine_sparklefaced with an ED at the end. And then we're also developing our website, so that will launch October 1st, and that's sunshinesparklefaced.com. And then also Sunshine Sparkleface on TikTok, and as well as Facebook.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Be sure to check them out, sunshinesparkleface.com. down below. If you received any value, insight, or inspiration from this podcast, it's free to subscribe. For every 100 followers, I'm giving away $100. So from now until we hit 1,000 subscribers, I'm giving away $700 total. And then once we hit 1,000 subscribers, I'm giving away $1,000 to one lucky subscriber. So if you enjoy this content, I'm more in the know. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, and share with your friends and family. And we will see you next time.